Welcome back to the RedHawk Hoops Report. Luke West Poley joined by Miami assistant coach Ben Wierzba. Coach Box out this week. But Coach, back from the 305, picked up a couple wins this past weekend. Happy holidays to you. We're on Christmas Eve. How are things going?
I appreciate it. Thanks, Luke. No, it was nice and warm down in Miami for the 4 or 5 days we were down there. So it was nice down there, and it was nice to pick up a couple wins and get back here and be able to relax and get away a little bit with family and friends and get ready to go for the conference season.
Dave Meyer tweeted out the women's basketball SID here at Miami a picture of Coach Box rocking it on the sidelines, the Hawaiian shirt, the ball cap. I think that was in your first game against George Washington down in Miami. Any is Coach Box the best dressed on the staff? Do you have any thoughts on that?
He's got a little bit of style, I think. So, no, I mean, okay, about like we were down there, he was going to wear this shirt and shorts, and I'll tell you that gym was freezing cold on Friday. He's like, I got to wear this hat to keep my head warm, and so he kept it. We won, so he just kept going with it, and so keep the vibes going.
Obviously started off really good for you guys down in Florida. You guys picked up a pretty dominant win against George Washington, your second win against an A10 team this year. Uh, you guys have scored 70 or more points 4 times this season now. What do you think is the difference in those games with being able to be that effective on offense?
I think we're playing fast. I mean, we're talking with we coaches been talking about wanting to play fast all year, and I think those other games too is like I'd laugh, but like we don't turn the ball over, we could be scoring a lot more points, and so we got to be more efficient, taking care of the ball. But we've got a group of players that can go out and get different people can score. Angelina's proven what she's done. Amber's done it in the past. Katie's had her moments. I can go right down the line with everybody. Maya had a big game the first night down in Florida, so we got a bunch of people that can score the basketball. We just got to take better care of the ball.
You've had a few games this season where the turnover numbers on both sides have been really high. And then as we kind of shift our focus to the second game that you guys had down in Florida, you guys beat FIU by 7. It was a game that featured 28 turnovers for you guys and 26 for FIU. And I know Coach Box has spoke on it before that he's never okay with turnovers ever, right? But it has seemed like you guys have continued to come out on top in a lot of these games that really feature a fast pace with a lot of turnovers on both sides. So, when you're turning the ball over 28 times, how do you end up winning these so often?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at our shooting percentages, we're shooting the ball at a high percentage, and I think that's one thing that helps. We do a good job. Amber does a great job of crashing the offensive glass, giving us extra opportunities to score. But yeah, the turnovers we've got to do better at that aspect. We got to get that number down to 15. We got to get that number down there. If we get down to 15, think about giving 13 more opportunities to score of each possession. When the way we're shooting that, you're scoring in the 80s or 90s with that type of stuff. And so, but that's the one thing we're going to concentrate. We're going to keep working on. We'll keep harping on it and just try to get better at that.
Obviously, it was a big weekend for Angelina getting to go back down to Miami, Florida. And I know she's someone that you've had a lot of familiarity with Mercer and such. But what's been different for her these last couple of weeks? Because she seemed like she was kind of your secondary scorer for a little bit. She could give you a good game here or there at the beginning of the season, but she's really been breaking out as a consistent 20 and even in that FIU game, close to 30-point scorer.
Yeah, I think anytime you transfer in, trying to new surroundings, classrooms, academics, practice, new teammates, all that stuff, coaching staff, how things are different. But I think she's starting to feel comfortable, and you can see that in her game. And so, I was able to coach her a freshman year and saw the talent in her and watch her what she could be able to do. And I think just the comfortability, being more comfortable. I think maybe the first half against George Washington, she might have been pressing a little bit, being back home in front of family and friends a little bit. But you could see her efficiency the second half of that game and the FIU game where she was very efficient with her scoring. But she's a talent. She's fast with the ball. She's got a great mid-range game that she had when we were at Mercer, and her being able to develop what she's shooting. I think she had 3 or 4 threes against FIU, and they're big shots. And so when you're shooting a ball from three like that, and the quickness that she has, that's a tough matchup for anybody.
You look at some of your blowout wins this season. George Washington was the latest one, but even looking a little bit earlier to some games that you guys comfortably won, and perimeter defense was a big reason why for you guys. George Washington was 2 for 10 from three. You think back to the Dayton game, the Flyers really struggled against you guys shooting the three balls. So, just how important is that perimeter defense for you guys, and how much of a focus has that been throughout the season?
I think our defense has gotten really good, I think last year that was probably our strength last year of keeping us in games and giving us ourselves a chance. But I think we've really focused our game plan, our personnel, knowing who we're guarding, and that type of stuff has really been a key. And sitting in gaps and taking away drives from certain players that we got. I think I don't know. We had double figure steals this past weekend, and so scouting report defense. But I think our girls are buying into that. And so, we talk about we've turned it over a lot, but we force other teams to turn over, so that gets us extra opportunities to get out and run as well. So we just got to keep staying solid on the defensive end, and it's going to get tougher as we get into MAC play, playing Ball State right off the bat. Being able to be locked in defensively, knowing personnel, and being efficient on the defensive end too.
You only had about 20 hours from the time that George Washington game ended to tip off against FIU. So, I know a lot of teams around this time of year and a little bit earlier play in the MTEs and the tournaments, right, where you're playing a lot of games in a short time period. But just, I guess for those that aren't as familiar, what is that preparation like when it's so compact? You don't have time to really get a practice in or really break things down on a very in-depth level like you might in, say, MAC play.
Yeah, so I think our game was supposed to start two, probably start about 2:30 or so. Got over about 4:45. By the time we got back to the hotel, it was 5:30. We were able to go straight in, and we had dinner. As soon as dinner was over, we watched film of FIU go through their personnel, go through their sets. Um, and it was more. It's interesting. You get to these games that you're playing teams that you're not familiar with. You don't know their personnel as well. You don't know these teams as well when you're going to different regions of the country. Um, but I thought our girls did a really good job of paying attention to detail, locking in on that. Um, we get up Saturday morning. We got up early. I think we had breakfast at 7:30 or 8. We had breakfast. We watched film again of FIU, of their personnel and their sets. And it's nice when you're down in warmer weather that we were able to get a walkthrough in outside. We were able to go out and had a space outside that we could walk through some of their stuff that thought we could cause us some problems. But and then you get on the bus and you go play a game. And so it's a quick turnaround, but it's one of those things that it helps you prepare for when you get to conference tournaments and stuff like that, that you've got quick turnarounds. You've got to prepare for that type of stuff. And, conference wise, you like I said, you're probably more familiar with the teams, but our girls were very prepared, very locked in with the short turnaround with FIU.
So you guys move into the Christmas break. I know a lot of teams choose to play one more game after the break before New Year's, before you guys head into MAC play. You guys don't, so you really have a lot of space to practice and to get ready. And you guys are not getting eased into MAC play either with, Ball State right off the bat, who's the preseason favorite in this conference and the top team in the MAC in the regular season last year. Um, any preliminary thoughts on Ball State? I guess I know you guys probably haven't looked at it too much just back from Florida and in the break, but also I
Um,
guess, some of your top priorities for your team over the week of practice headed out of the break into New Year's and into that Ball State game.
yeah, I mean, Ball State's got a lot of players back. They're a veteran group, and so they're very well coached. We know they're gonna. It's gonna start with Allie Becky pushing the ball, trying to. She's very good with the ball and being able to score. They got enough people around her. They've added size to go along with them from this year. But as Coach Box always say, a lot of it comes down to us. We're focused on us. When we come back from Christmas, we'll be focused on us. We'll have good film sessions from this past weekend. We'll do a lot of individual skill work. We'll continue to tighten up what we've been working on, but it comes down to us just really focusing on us and getting better. But going into Ball State, it's great. I mean, you're going against the team that's picked to win the league, the veteran group, like as they should be, and just to see where we're really at. And I think our girls will be excited after break to come back and be ready to go.
All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate the time. Thanks for being with us. Good luck in conference play and beyond as we move into the new year. And sure, we'll chat again soon. Merry Christmas, and thanks for doing this.
Thanks, Luke. Have a good Christmas.
Thank you, you as well. Again, the RedHawks are back in action New Year's Day, January 1st, in a home game against the Ball State Cardinals at 1 p.m. That game will be on RedHawk Radio, the Miami Radio Network, and ESPN. Till next time, thanks for tuning in to the RedHawk Hoops Report.